Cowboys' defensive signals. He also said the field was slippery and his team didn't have enough traction. And Jerry showed support for Jason Garrett, saying if Jason was part of the coaching carousel this offseason, he would have had 5 offers. Shannon, do you have a problem with anything Jerry said yesterday?
Yes, I got a problem. I got a problem with everything that he said.
Everything.
You know
well, that's shocking.
It's never, he doesn't want to give the opposing team any credit. It's never we got outplayed. It's always, well, I would have gone for it on 4th down or everybody was slipping. Well, I'm glad. I am so glad the Rams played in a dome. And then when the Cowboys got the ball, they had to go outside. Would Jerry Jones please stop that? Would fire your equipment manager? Because you have the same equipment that the Rams had. And so whatever they check, whether you had on speed TDs or you had on 7 studs, it didn't matter. They were rooting you up out of there. See, here's the thing, Jerry. Let me bring a little news to you, Jerry.
Okay.
See, the way you view Jason Garrett and the way the league views Jason Garrett is something entirely different. Jenny, 2 of my most prized, I got 2 very prized possessions. Of all the things I own, more valuable than my Super Bowl rings, more valuable than my Hall of Fame ring. One is a plant that I got from my grandmother's funeral. I've had it since 2011, Skip. The plant's about, when I went, the horticulturist told me it was about 6 months old when I got it. Maybe a year old when I got it. So it's about 8, 9 years old now.
Wow.
That, and I got a picture of my grandmother sitting on a cooler fishing. They're not going to hang that in any museum. The value is with me, sentimental value.
Okay.
Jerry Jones, Jason Garrett, value is to you. Nobody else views him like you view him. I give you another example, Skip Bayless. Mike McCarthy was the coach for the Green Bay Packers for 13 years. 9 times he went to the playoffs. He went to 4 conference finals. He won a Super Bowl. Mike McCarthy was in contention for 1 head coaching job. Jason Garrett has won 2 playoff games. And you think somebody was going to hire him? Jerry, only you view Jason Garrett in that light. So in other words, the sentimental value that he has is only to you. He's not valuable to anyone else. Everybody knows he's not coaching the team. You are. You need to stop this chicanery. You can't fool O'Shea Sharp. Now all of a sudden, yeah, they knew our signal. But in 92, they used to know our signal when we had him in Detroit. Guess what, Jerry? You know what? I don't like breaking news because that's not what I do. I don't break news. I'm not an insider. You're not that 90s team. Contrary to what you think, Dak Prescott is not Troy Aikman. Ezekiel Elliott is not Emmitt Smith. And Amari Cooper is not Michael Irvin. This is not the 90s Cowboys 2.0. Once you come to that realization, you'll be just fine. So, Jerry, you need to stop this foolishness. Do what you always do. My grandma used to say, boy, if you do what you always done, you'll get exactly what you've always gotten. So guess what the Cowboys are going to get, Skip? What have they done for the last 8 years? They'll get what they've always gotten. Keep Jason Garrett, and you'll get exactly what you've been getting. You'll play well enough. You'll probably miss the playoffs next year. The following year, you'll make the playoffs. You'll win a game. Maybe not. And Jerry will be just happy. But you're not going nowhere. Sit back and like it. And I told you this. Told you. It hurt, doesn't it, Skip? That you should be playing the NFC Championship game. You should. That's what the Cowboys should be with all that talent. All them Pro Bowlers. Even Vander Eschneider's in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Lawrence. So in other words, you guys has as many Pro Bowlers on the field Saturday night as the Rams. And they ran.
No, they actually had 5-4. No, 6-4 if you add Vander Esch.
So now, I didn't know this.
6-4.
They say when somebody runs over you, they say it's rough shot. We say rough shot. They ran rough shot over y'all.
I used that in a tweet. Rough shod, S-H-O-D, shod.
Yeah, I thought we don't say shot.
Okay.
We don't do correct. We do rough shot.
First point of order on Mike McCarthy. He was viewed by the league as damaged goods because he fell apart with the greatest thrower of the football ever, Aaron Rodgers. So what went on there? Do we want to take a chance on that guy who couldn't even get along with the biggest diva who ever played quarterback in this league, Aaron Rodgers? That was just a travesty what happened to Mike McCarthy. He deserves a job, and I'm not sure Jason Garrett would have had 5 offers, but trust me, he would have had 2 offers.
From who?
And God rest the soul of your grandmother, but she did not coach the Dallas Cowboys to not 1 or 2, but 3 division titles. That's what Jason Garrett did. So he's valuable
With that talent, and all you got is division titles to show me?
But think about this. Just step back. I know that you got to sift through all your Cowboy hate, which is just spilling out of you right now. You're so happy that they're not plaguing you anymore. But just think about this.
Now I'm back.
Okay.
Jason Garrett is still 77-59 as the head coach of the Cowboys. Do I like him? I don't. I've tried to fire him 29 times on this show.
You have.
But he's 77-59. So in a vacuum, if you put him on the open market, somebody's going to sit back and say, he won 3 NFC East?
With that talent and no Super Bowls?
Wait a second. In 2014, he goes 12-4. Then 2016, he goes 13-3. And then 2018, he goes 10-6 and then wins a playoff game. He's 2-3 in the postseason, which is not 0-5. My point is, we look at some of the people who got, I mean, Cliff Kingsbury got a head coaching job. And I like Cliff Kingsbury a lot, but I don't know how he got that job.
Because they believe he could coach. Think about this, Skip. In 2014, the 3 offensive linemen made the Pro Bowl. So did Dez, so did Jason Witten, and so did DeMarcus, so did DeMarco Murray. So you got 7 Pro Bowlers on the offensive side of the football, and you win how many playoff games? Okay, you follow that up, guess what? When Zeke comes in, you got another 6 guys go to the Pro Bowl. And you win how many playoff games? 0. So now, again, you got 2 offensive linemen in the Pro Bowl. You got Zeke in the Pro Bowl. And you win 1 playoff game. So I'm just trying to figure out, let me ask you a question, Skip Bayless. Let's just say for the sake of argument, because that's what we do up here, we argue. You know what? Arguing is such a harsh term. I hate arguing, especially with the commercial that came out. So
I like to argue, but that's just
I like to say debating.
Debate.
Debate sounds so much better. It's a healthy discussion, and that's what we do.
Debate.
When my therapist says, Shannon, say healthy discussion.
Did you just admit that you...
My therapist says, Shannon...
Really?
Yeah, getting in touch with myself.
Yeah, you just went Tony Soprano on.
Yeah, but she said, Shannon, healthy discussion.
Okay.
What would Sean McVay do with that kind of offensive talent?
I don't know. He's got plenty on his own.
I mean, think about it, Skip Bayless. You had those 3 offensive linemen.
What are you talking about, Sean McVay? You already told me he's got the best running back in football. And you think Jared Goff's way better than Dak Prescott. So what are you talking about?
No, I'm saying if he'd had that,
Brandon
that talent,
Cooks and Robert Woods.
If he had that talent in 2016, with his imagination and motivation. You say he can motivate. You say your guy can't motivate. That's what you say.
He cannot. I don't like my guy, but trust me, my guy would have gotten offers on the open market because there's a dearth of available coaches.
Yeah, but they're
all just desperate and scrambling.
Jerry is coaching. See, they're giving Jerry all the credit with none of the accountability. See, all the losses go on his resume, but everybody know behind the scenes, like you tell me, puppet.
I agree. I wish somebody would hire him away.
No.
Job.
No.
You love him there.
Yeah, I do.
Does Jerry live in the past, in the 90s? Yeah, he does to a certain point. But what did I tell you yesterday before Jerry uttered these words? I told you the 90s Cowboys, everybody, I said exactly to you on the show yesterday what Jerry Jones then said on his radio show, which is in the 90s, everybody knew everything we were doing. We were so simple. We telegraphed everything. They didn't try to cover up their signals. I told you, North Turner told me after the first Buffalo Super Bowl, they knew everything. They certainly knew run or pass. They had binoculars on me, and whatever I would call, they would know whether we were going to run or throw. That's a big deal in a football game to have that advantage.
Do you realize what you have? You think about, you got 3 Hall of Famers.
Hey, I'm just saying, that's why I told you yesterday. They did not care about tells or secrets or
all you're doing is validating my point now. Because your offense isn't that good.
Yeah,
you can't tell.
Okay. Now we're getting to the third point here. I told you the most shocking outcome of a first half of a football game was Saturday night right here in Los Angeles at the
Why were you surprised?
Coliseum. Because the Dallas Cowboys had been one of the best defenses against the run all year. They had just stifled Seattle's #1 rushing attack. And when New Orleans came in with, I think they were the #3 rushing attack on that Thursday night game, they just shut it down. They held it to 65 yards rushing because they're really good against the run. So it was as inexplicable a first half outcome as I've ever seen because I couldn't process it. And don't give me boy genius Sean McVay. Baloney.
Boy genius.
Baloney.
Boy wonder.
My team did not show up. It was more psychological and motivational.
Why didn't he show up? Whoa. Hold on. You used that excuse against Indy. Now, this is the playoffs. These games matter.
I used it validly against Aaron Rodgers in the playoff game at Jerry world.
But guess what? You know what the Rams did? They took DeMarcus Lawrence theory. What you do is when you hit a mofo in the mouth, and then later in the game you can choke his you-know-what out, Skip Bayless. So they hit him in the mouth, and then third and fourth quarter, they choked him out.
Oh, did they choke him out? It was an 8-point game when it was early in the fourth quarter, when it was 4th and 1 at the Rams' 35-yard line. That's choking him out, isn't it?
Choked him out.
And Jason Garrett calls Ezekiel up the middle. And now let me get to the traction point.
Sure.
That is a valid excuse, but your response to that excuse is also very valid.
Yeah.
It was slippery. It rained half the day on Saturday, and I know that field very well. I've covered hundreds of games in that Coliseum, and it has a reputation on that grass field for getting slick, especially if it rains during the day. And there's this old song, it never rains in Southern California, but it does rain occasionally here. And when it does, it gets really slick out there, and you have to be prepared for it. And my team was not prepared.
Why is that?
I don't know. Is it Jason Garrett's fault? You have to see that coming. You have to anticipate it. During pregame warm-up, you have to figure out which of the shoes work. I got to tell you, Zeke's shoes didn't work because he looked like he was running in place to me much of the night. He couldn't get traction. He couldn't get takeoff.
Our girls look good to me. CJ looked good.
They must know how to wear the right cleats, right?
Look, Skip, you only got 3 kinds.
I got it.
You got speed TDs, you got molded bottoms, and you got 7 studs.
All right. Somebody screwed that up for the Cowboys because there's no way that my defensive line gets blown off the football. They look like they had no traction. They look like they could not hold that line. They couldn't hold their ground.
Was DeMarcus Lawrence active for that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you told me, you tell me when you watch TV, you know, you look for guys to flash. I saw no flashes.
I saw no flashes because he talked about how he was going to take Jared Goff's soul. I think the offensive line of the Rams, I think it took his soul.
That's what they call him. That's what they call their offensive line. They had on a T-shirt.
Really?
They call him the body snatcher.
Really?
Yeah, the body snatcher.
Soul snatcher.
Hold up. What about the I ain't seen no howling. What happened to the wolf hunter?
Oh, yeah.
Gay Chris Richard had an aneurysm, had to go to the hospital. He yelling and screaming, y'all got to get off the blocks.
I don't know.
When you see this ISO, he's lined up. We went over this in practice, son. I need you to shed the block and you make the play.
All I saw was Wolf Hunter and Jalen Smith running backwards, chasing people.
Roll, bounce, had them on skates, Skip.
Yeah. And would you believe, despite 273 Rams rushing yards, my quarterback fought my team back into that game because he will not quit.
You know what? Despite having the most fourth quarter come from behind wins since he's been in the NFL, despite having the highest completion percentage in his first 3 seasons at 61.1%. Guess where he is today, Jenny? Watching Skip and Shannon on Undisputed.
Yeah.
I wish he had been able to play linebacker on Saturday night because I would have had a better chance.
I wish he could have played quarterback better. That's what I wish.
266 yards passing.
What good is that?
When you only have the ball for like
them old cheap yards. When they needed them. Really? I thought I need something in the first. I need something in the first half, Skip. I need something in the third quarter, Skip.
You got it all the way to 8 points, and you know and I know if they had held on that 3rd and 7 late, he gets the ball back, he's going to go win that game. You know it, and I know it. You got so lucky.
I don't get no lucky.
You got so lucky, and you are so relieved.
Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. If you're prepared for a night, when the opportunity presents itself, good thing.
Yeah. And you thought you had me because that was your second case of duty you had won on Saturday. But then guess what happened? The 41-year-old happened on Sunday and wiped you out.
I would have been willing, Skip. I would have been willing to give you like 10 cases. I just needed the Cowboy because I wanted that energy. Because every time I got sick of you for the last 8 weeks coming in here, looking into the camera. Which one is my camera? Like you don't know which one is your camera. You know exactly.
Which one is my camera?
Oh, there's plenty of cameras to go around. If they are watching, maybe they'll enjoy this next one. What is next for Kyler Murray? Could he really be a top 10 pick? We'll discuss.